Stell, do you believe in ghosts? Jem had been asking questions like this for the past couple of days. It was even more unnerving because it was Halloween. I didn't want her to think that she was freaking me out. Of course not, I told her as we walked down the street. Ghosts aren't real. Do you think that loved ones become ghosts together? What if friends die together? Does that mean that they stay friends forever? I let out a sarcastic grunt. I bloody hope not. It was bad enough spending all of that time together when we were going out. I certainly don't want to spend eternity with you, especially since you've given up gluten. Jem didn't say anything. She was acting so weird. We'd gone out that night for drinks and she must have been necking the slippery nipples while I wasn't looking. She was getting so maudlin. Jem and I used to be a thing until we weren't. But we still had a good friendship and saw each other most weeks. If I was totally honest, I still loved Jem. I lived in hope that one day she'd forgive me. I was walking her home like I usually did in the hopes that the night would end in a kiss. That's how we usually ended up walking past the wrought iron gates of Alswick Cemetery. Jem stopped at the entrance. What? I said. Come on, there's a shortcut to my place through here, you know that. I do know that, but there's not a cat in hell's chance of you getting me in there after dark, Jem. Jem ignored me and pulled open the gate. Come on, you scared, Stell? Of course I'm fucking scared. Haven't you seen any horror films? The lesbian doesn't stand a chance. I thought you said I'd do anything I said, Stella. I thought you wanted to make it up to me. I thought you were sorry. Of course I'm sorry, Jem, but what does walking through a park full of dead bodies at night, might I add, have to do with making it up to you? Jem didn't say anything. She just stared at me. Then she turned around and walked in. I couldn't just leave her, so I went in and we made our way through the aisles of the dead. Then came a sharp snap. A branch falling, someone tripping over the concrete path, a reanimated body wrestling out of its grave and toppling its headstone. My lungs pinched shut, my feet grew into cinder blocks, every hair on my neck stood on end. I turned around and squinted into the distance. What was that? I whispered. Jem didn't seem too worried. Probably a bird. At night? Who cares? Come on, let's just go. I'm not, I stuttered. Come on, I'll look after you, Jen said, almost in a whisper. Do you swear? I said. I swear, Jen said, although she still had her back to me and I wasn't feeling any less scared. Okay, do the swear handshake then. Jem turned around. I thought she'd laugh and tell me not to be so stupid, but she didn't. She walked towards me, slowly holding out her finger. We grappled our pinkies together and then crooked our thumbs together and finally fist bumped. I swear, she said solemnly. We'd made up our swear handshake on our first date. We'd been to see a horror film. It had been my idea and it was utter shite. Jen made me do the handshake to promise I would never put her through such drivel again. She let go of my hand and carried on walking. She wasn't following the path anymore, though. She was walking towards the fence. On the other side, I saw something strange. Just 2 graves were on the other side. Let's go over this way. I want to show you something. Before I could answer, I heard another twig snap. What was that? I whispered. I don't know. Come on, let's just jump over the fence. But then I saw it. A figure in the darkness, moving towards us. Fast. Jem, look. Jump over, Jem shouted. She was already climbing the fence. I wanted to follow her, but I'd had a big lunch and I knew I wouldn't be anywhere as nimble as my athletic ex-girlfriend. There, Jem shouted. Go through the gap. I saw where Jem was pointing and there was a big space where some of the iron bars had been pulled away. I thought I could do it. I was about to squeeze out on the other side of the fence when I turned my head to see where the figure was and saw it was only a few meters away. But that's when I recognised her. Paula? I said in disbelief. There was no mistaking her once I saw she was wearing an ironic, non-ironic Cheggers Party Quiz t-shirt. She used to be a big Keith Chegwin fan. Who else could it be other than Paula? What are you doing here? I said. I saw you earlier in the pub. I was worried, Paula said. She looked knackered. What are you talking about? Look, I know all this must have hit you hard and you must be feeling guilty. I feel it too. Paula, you need to leave. Me and Jem. Is that what you've been doing all night? Paula asked, a look of disbelief on her face. Have you been talking to Jem? I said nothing. Why was Paula looking at me like that? Come with me, Stella, Paula said pleadingly. We'll get you to talk to someone professionally. Please come with me. No, I spat. I want to be with Jem. You can't, Paula yelled. That double-decker bus sorted that, Stella. Look, it's not our fault. Of course it was. She'd never been running across that street if she hadn't caught us in bed together. Saying it out loud made it feel real, finally. My head swiveled around in search of Jem, in search of the love of my life, but she was gone. And then the realisation struck me like a whip. I looked down towards the floor. There was nothing there. Only hard, sharp rocks that would have cracked my skull open. Had I have gone over with Jem, I would have died. Will loved ones become ghosts together? The ghost of Jem had asked me. Does that mean they'll be together forever? I spun my head around and took one last look at Paula, and then I felt it. A thumb hooking around my own, and one sharp pull.